Live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. It's your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of Afternoon Training Florida. Come on, let's general extension with the spread from any flow lecture. What's going on, folks? Oh, man, what a week. I'm so jazzed up right now. Oh, my gosh. The good news just keeps on streaming in. Flipping pumped. What? Marios, all the way from Cyprus, just crushing it today. So proud of you. Adriano's blown away. Man, I tell you guys, I rarely get it this good. I thought I'd get it right, but this is scary. I feel on top of the world, which means I probably need to tone it back a little bit next week or so. That means the market's about to humble me. Because this week, straight up, crushed it. Oh my gosh. So this is the SPY, and this has been the exact same drawing that we've had on the board since Monday afternoon. And it has played out to perfection. Type in a 3 if you got a chance to snag anything off of this 200 simple moving average on the SPY. Some 3s are coming in. Beautiful. It was hard to do, but if you did, congrats. In fact, the cool part about that was if we go over here to Slack, so here's the Slack channel. We will talk about BABA today, but as this thing was bouncing, so I'm like, hey guys, this is at 107. Go ahead and take your profits on BABA. SPY hitting the 200 is bouncing. So that's 107 Central. So here's the 5-minute chart, and 107 is right here, right? It was kind of breaking out. So it was, I had to eat something at some point, but it was right about here as it was bouncing off of there. So if you got out right there, congrats. I was working on getting ready for the webinar, right? Because I had a Slack webinar this afternoon. Otherwise, I could have gotten out a lot earlier for you guys. So anyway, no big deal. All is fine. But that's when it traded down to the 200 right here. And that's pretty much when you could have bought calls, made money, sold puts, whatever you were doing. Anyway, fantastic stuff, folks. It traded right down to the 200. Beautiful. There was blood in the streets, though, at one point in the day. And remember, we were talking about it yesterday, and I said, hey, guys, it did close below, right? We knew something was up. And I said, this is going to be tomorrow's going to be a very important day. I didn't expect the exact lower wick that came in today, but it wasn't. It's an inside candle, not inside candle. The body is very small. We're perfectly stuck between the 100 and 200, as Robert said. So I'm excited for some more volatility next week. We'll probably get it. But what I can now say is we close below this candle, and I can officially say for now there's going to be a little bit of a bear market. We close below here. I should say bear market. Let me rephrase. Bearish, not bullish, for a bit. So it's possible that we could get down there. You never know. So we'll see. But if we close below there, it's very similar to the other candle. The candle was closing below Tuesday. I was like, this isn't good. And it really wasn't. I mean, when we closed below, we had this huge gap up. This thing moved 10 points. So the SPY had a 5% range on the day today, meaning from open to close, it was intense. So again, if we close below the low of today, if we do, it would be bearish. Not saying we will, but that's just saying if we do, just wait on some stuff. Otherwise, we'll probably rotate a little bit and then continue higher. Pretty much it. So SPY, looking good. Beautiful bounce off the 200. Congratulations. I love it. So nice. Mila says, tell me when to buy puts. That was days ago. So now is the buying of the calls. Now you're probably looking at buying calls. So puts was probably sometime on the February 2nd when it closed below here, or when it broke the shooting star on Wednesday. That's when you would want to be in puts. I mean, just really, really quick move. So yeah, I think for the most part it's over. Yep, I do. All right, says I'm confused. So you think it's going to be bearish market onwards? No, sir. So let me rephrase, and I apologize if I said anything wrong. So Mario, so we have the low of today, right? On the Dow, the Qs, and the SPY. This pullback is done unless we close below the low of today. So the bulls are back to stay. We got the pullback. This is great. That was fast. That was fun. So unless we close below the low of today's candle, this is the normal wave rotation that I thought. Today's candle was just enough to trap a bunch of people. We might get 2 or 3 days of inside, and we might wick below today's low, but if we close below, it's going to be exciting. Frank says, why are there bears? Just because the market went up very, very fast, very steeply, and they're selling up here. Yates says, if we do close below today's low and spare, where could it bounce? That part, I'm not sure. I don't know that part. Because if we close below 252, I mean, that would be a really big deal. 235 and then maybe 210. 100 on a weekly. Yeah, 100 on a weekly. Sorry. Yep. So about, 235 and then 210 will be the two stops if we close below that low. So yeah. So from here, a lot of traders. I got a true story, 100 emails today, 97 emails with traders getting in to some bullish trades, put sales, longer term stocks, tiptoeing into the market, so on and so forth. So nice orders getting filled. So let's go through some of those. And let's first start off with BABA. So BABA, B-A-B-A, and just as the mouse eats the cheese, this was a fast trade and you had to be quick about it. This did fill at open. Well, not at open, a little bit after open, but $7 to the nose. So a few traders got filled on BABA, some $7 puts. Now, you could play it differently. So me and Brian were talking about this one early this morning, Brian Weber on the Slack channel. And so he traded it with a little bit of a different setup and made some money off of it. So as BABA, right, BABA came down, it was up a full R and some change, actually, as SPY was at the 200 simple. So that's when I texted everyone. I said, all right, guys, get out. We took a profit on BABA, canceled the other bearish trades. So BABA, cool. Trade, done. That trade is done. Now, will we go lower? It's possible from here, but at this level on BABA, this is probably a good time to be looking for bull put spreads, put sales. Brian Weber has one at 155. So we'll see what's going on down here. If you don't mind owning shares of BABA, if you do not want to own shares of BABA, don't get into any kind of put sales. You could do some bull put spreads or something down here. We'll see. Michael says I was in and out in a little over an hour. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, that was pretty much what was going on here. It took about 3 hours or so, 3 to 4 hours. And again, just like we've been talking about all week, if you're up, get up, take your profit and move on, because this market's going to be changing overnight. We did cancel LRCX and Allstate. So LRCX, I don't really want to get embarrassed right now with that candle. I think we can get in with a different price. So this one's canceled. So we canceled LRCX. Didn't trigger today anyway, so it didn't matter. And same thing with Allstate. So ALL, it could trigger, but I think with today's candle, we could get it at a little bit of a better price. So we're going to cancel those two orders, and we can always come back to them later. So that's Allstate. Here's Watt, W-A-T-T. So W-A-T-T, still in that. So we have until Wednesday for it to close above 21, which it does not look like it's going to. And we have three business days. So what we'll probably end up doing on Watt is next week I'm going to take the stop and move it up a little bit higher, give it another week or two, because it's still February, right? So this was a bill paying trade, so I still got we still got 2 weeks pretty easily. So I'll probably just end up creeping it up, and we'll probably get out of this for like a third of an R or something. So Watt will be a small winner. Hopefully. It might not be a winner at all, but if the market runs, this stock has held up pretty good through the onslaught. You know, it's held up pretty decently, and that's kind of a good sign, unless the market just tanks again, which is possible. So anyway, so we got out of BABA today. Watt, we're still in. I think it's still on the chart. Yep, so Watt's still active. And here is Riot, R-I-O-T. And the high of today, 1634. The entry, 1658. So if you got in with a different setup, that's totally fine. I had a few other traders that did. That's cool. No big deal. So this, if you zoom in, here's the 15-minute chart. You'll see a nice little setup right there. I'm going to leave this how it is. I don't want to examine it too much. I think I could probably get a few pennies cheaper on Riot. In fact, no, I got to do it. I got to do it. It's too strong. 1658. So we're going to adjust this. This is a stop. So that's going to be the trigger, right? That's when the order goes live. And I'm going to do a limit order of 1609. Meaning I think it's going to, trade up and then trade back down. It could get even better. You could get even something like this. So I'm going to adjust Riot a little bit. So just try to save, pretty much trying to save 50 cents. Okay, so we're just going to make a small adjustment. And again, if you're already in, that's fine. That's totally cool. Updated setup. Mario says, why not a simple limit order? Because a limit order I want it to break through resistance before I get in. If I do a limit order, it'll fill immediately. So me personally, you got the 20 right there. So here's the 20 exponential moving average. So I want it to break through first and then pull back before I get in. So that's Riot. We'll put it over here. Updated entry. ENTRY entry on Riot. Swing trade. Okay. Victor says, yes, I did. Cool. All right, so that's just updates. Others trades that are official. Let me just hop over to here. So here's the credit spread, and this is all of our journals of credit spread. So PetMed Express, PETS. So we have only a week left on this one. 1 week left. PetMed Express, PETS. So hoping this one expires worthless. Matthias and Thomas and Robert, a few other traders have March. I just did regular February, and I might do March again later, maybe. We've done this one a few times on pets, but, I don't mind owning shares. Here's the weekly chart, and the weekly chart looks good. If that order doesn't go through, I might do a 35 put sale for PetMed Express. Other one we have is Apple. So Apple's a big deal. Very interesting on Apple. So what is interesting specifically about Apple is I wanted to close below this support. So I have a spread, as you guys know. Brian Shepard has a put sale at 155. I wanted to close below 153.69. We did not get it. Did not get it. So I'm just going to keep waiting for a close below that price. So if we can close below 153.69, I'm just going to leave it there. Then I'll kind of consider what it might do and maybe it retest, but it should bounce. I got a long time Jesse says, are you a bull still? I'm still a bull. Yeah. So if this Apple, you got a nice little hammer candle. Again, you came down on a weekly chart to the 50 EMA on a weekly. So this is a nice high wave candle. I will repeat again, the low of these candles are very important, the low we made today. The market should not close below this low. And if we do, we'll probably get something like something similar to what happened last 2-3 days. Right, we close below and things start really rushing lower for a quick. I mean, it was bloody out there at one point today, right? Because we closed below there. So that's what I was saying, is the market was just cranking lower. We knew that was going to likely happen from that close from yesterday. So at this point, I like Apple off this level. I love that it closed higher, and the high wave candle again is just the most recent last week. Is this candle right here. So you got a giant upper shadow, giant lower shadow. They're both pretty much the same width. It's an indecision candle, and people don't know what's going to happen. So what will happen likely is next week you're going to have an inside week, and then hopefully, obviously the week after that, Apple starts bouncing. Obviously, Apple, good longer-term stock. You could own the stock for 20 years. It'll be going higher at some point. If we do close below the low of Apple, the lowest I see it going is 133. And we'll pick up some at 133 if we get there. But I think this is it. I think this was the pullback on the markets. So that's Apple. We did have an official 3D put sale as well, and I'm really happy about this one. So this is expiring next week, and all looks fine on 3D. Doesn't show any problems. TLT. So TLT is a bull put spread, so based on bonds. So bonds do look a little on the weak side. This was kind of a market inverse in a way, right? If the market goes lower, bonds might go higher. Sometimes bonds and equities kind of trade a little bit differently. So it looks like this will continue lower, which is fine. I'm okay with it trading all the way down to really 15, 48, and then even a little bit lower. So we'll see how it trades. I got the 114, 113 bull put spread. That's for March. Right now, I don't have any major concerns on that one. And then I got a put sale on BP. So again, I don't mind owning shares on BP. This is the daily chart. Almost made it to the 200 simple today. Probably bounces. And then I did another put sale on SPY. So SPY, as you guys know, we already looked at, but got the one all the way down here for March, 210. Shouldn't be a problem. Javier says, Jeremy, is the SPY on a weekly has a bearish retest gap? Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So I think longer term, Javier, big picture, very large chance that we retest, we rotate a little bit lower and bounce. You guys remember that blue line that I drew on the daily chart? That same rotation is about to happen on the weekly. All right, so go ahead and start planning that now. That same rotation. So we're going to probably trade higher. We're going to roll over. We might make a new low right here. We'll probably wick or something. And at that point, some moving average will catch up, and I won't be as bearish once that happens. And then and I don't know exactly when this will occur, but that's where it'll be very fun and very easy to go bullish. That low. Whenever that happens, if it happens. Yep, it is a retest gap, so I'm expecting some retests to come in on SPY, chopping around. We're going to have one more bigger rotation, and beautiful, beautiful plan, Javier. Okay, so iRobot. If you were in the day trading room with me today, type in a 3 if you played iRobot. This was the big winner of the day. It doesn't really look like that big of a winner, but it was. Yesterday was a gorgeous bearish gap and go. And all we did was just play the follow through of that gap. I actually had a trader who was like, hey, Newsom, can you come look at this for me? I was like, yeah, sure. So I looked at the gap and I saw this thing. I was like, oh boy. So you had that really good gap on iRobot, and you had this pretty strong support right here. So iRobot doesn't really look like the market right now. We played it bearish on the day trade. I'm thinking that we're probably going to look to play iRobot bearish, potentially. It had a giant run up. Let's give this one just a little bit of time. It's going to take a bit, but if it can retest this level, I will look for a bearish trade. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. That's really what it triggered today. So let's give this one like 2 or 3 days. We'll keep checking the eyes out. But this is a gap on earnings. That's why you always want to have some type of protection over earnings, especially if the stock doesn't pay dividends. Because if it gaps, I mean, gapping up is cool, but it's a coin flip. When you trade over earnings, unless you're going to invest in the stock, like you're like, I don't care, I'm in this stock for the next 17 years, then don't worry about it. If you're short-term trading it, it's really a coin flip, and you get to make that call. Do you want to put $5 grand on a coin flip? So we'll see what iRobot does. This does not look bullish to me. If we can get something like this and this, I think we might be able to play it bearish. So I'm going to put this on the list for Tuesdays. iRobot. iRobot. Here's Boot Barn. What's Boot Barn doing? Boot Barn. This is the daily. Nothing. Nothing on Boot Barn. Mila says, is it put SPY on iRobot? Not yet. If we do, we might be buying some puts on it. Yep, but not yet. We'll look at it again on Tuesday. See if we can buy some puts. I will let you know. So BOOT, Boot Barn, nothing. Moving on. No trade setup. I don't see anything. AMBA, AMBA. So AMBA, there was a few traders taking this one bullish off of this support, which is cute. Brad has a put sale. I forget where his put sale was. I think it was 45. Brad, can you remind me? I think it was 45. I was looking at the other day, and there wasn't any premium, and then I decided to sell another put. So either way, AMBA doing its thing. Looks pretty good. This is a solid one white soldier off of support. Very pretty one white soldier off of support on AMBA. And it also doesn't really look like the market. So the biggest challenge on AMBA is going to be more than likely where to get in. So I trade AMBA semi-often. Here's a double bottom, and I would expect probably a pullback. So this green line you could probably use as a limit buy, and you could have a stop maybe down here somewhere. So let's set that trade up. I think I can just leave it exactly where it's at. Limit buy. Nope, it's not a Marbozu candle right now. I think we'll put a stop here, just in case, again, we get some crazy volatility or something. 44.29. And then I'll be able to move the stop up to here to lose half of an R if this trade doesn't work. This trade should trigger by Tuesday, though. All right, so we got all the credit spreads, all the official credit spreads done, swing trades, and 2/8/2018, AMBA. Looking at 47.29, and you can play this with stocks or options. I'm gonna go with stocks. 44.29, so $3 of risk. If you did go with options, I'd probably go with March at least, or probably April. And it's a gap and go because it was gapping up. It's open because it's not triggered yet. And there we go. New official swing trade on AMBA. Before I publish this out, type in a 3 if you were there at the Slack thing today. I'm going to send that out later today in this email. So you guys okay? So for those who typed in a 3, type in a 4 if you added swing trade to your keywords. And we'll see if it works. All right, so we got some 4s. So I'm going to press enter. And then if that works, if you guys get the update, tell me. Put in a 7 in the chat pane. Give it a second. And all right. There we go. It works. Cool deal. A lot of sevens. Fantastic. Really good webinar too, because again, I think that this, we don't have to make it all that hard. It's a pretty easy, pretty simple process. So I'll do my absolute best to tell the team if we're doing a swing trade, to say swing trade, and day trade, we're doing day trade. So if I say update swing trade on XYZ, again, I'll do my absolute best. Just remember that my biggest objective is to teach you all how to do this so that you can do it forever, right? Because I might not always be around. So that's my biggest goal, is to ensure that you all properly are cool with this. I will always do my absolute best to give you as much notice as I can, but there's only so much we can do. So anyway, I think you guys will like it. Cam says, looking forward to seeing those tips. Beautiful. I will get I'll be sending out the copy of that video in today's email. Mila says, you awesome. No, Mila, you awesome. I'm just trying to be like 1/14 as great as you are. That's my goal. So here's the deal. Needs to trigger by end of day Tuesday. We will look at it again to 9/18. If that doesn't trigger, then we'll come back. Can you guys believe that it's only the it's only the 9th of February? What? Oh my gosh. I feel like I've been trading for 400 years. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's the 9th of February. Oh. Wow. That's amazing. Roku is down. So nothing on Roku. I was looking at maybe a breakout of Roku. It definitely had a retest gap. Is the 100 formed yet? Nope. Still don't even have a 100. How cute. Nothing on Roku. I don't see anything that I like. All right. Shake Shack. Shake Shack. I'm still waiting on Shake Shack. I was planning on an absolute zero call, but the challenge is the implied volatility is too crazy right now. Spreads are too wide. Implied volatility is like 40%. So I was thinking about an absolute zero, like a $45 call. It's about $4, but there's a solid spread. So I'll just wait. I'll wait until after the gap and then I'll kind of analyze it. If it gaps up, then I might buy some absolute zero options or something. So Shake Shack right now is a wait and see. Robert says buying options is rough. Buying options is rough, but selling them is awesome. E-Trade, ETFC. So no setup on E-Trade. It was bound to trap everybody. I'm glad we waited on that one. Trade right to the 100. I missed that on E-Trade. No big deal. Moving on. That one looks exactly like the market, so we're just going to try to find something else. XNet. So I was keeping an eye on XNet, and it's chilling, but it did not break above where you wanted it, so nothing on XNet. Moving on. NWL. So NWL, is it really earnings coming up on NWL? If so, I'll just move on. NWL, February 16th. Yep, okay. Pass on NWL, and we'll see what happens on earnings. Obviously, a gap up really into 33.53 would be amazing. But we'll get to see if that's what happens. Dean Foods. Dean Foods. Does Dean Foods also have earnings coming up? Jeez Louise. Cheese and rice. Yep, Dean Foods also has earnings coming up. All right. Well, just for analysis, I was looking at support at a good morning star. I was going to get in bullish above the wicks of those candles and set a stop down here. But Dean Foods can gap largely on earnings either direction, and I don't know. So we're just going to move on. We're just looking at a lot of stuff. Remember, you can look at tons and tons of things. It doesn't mean you have to trade them. Visa. Brian Shepard's got a put sale. Sandra, don't know if you got a chance to buy any Visa off of that 100. But that was a fantastic dip buy on Visa. Kind of very similar to the market. just like I was saying the other day, I don't think this is the only buying opportunity. I think we probably do have a little bit of a pullback Monday, Tuesday. I don't know what it will look like. I'm guessing a gap up and then like a trade down and then like another gap down and then a trade up. Right? Every morning it's going to be gaps for a little bit. So day traders are going to have a good time, I think, as far as the volatility goes. But yeah, I'm thinking a gap down and a trade up. A gap up and a trade down, or a gap down and a trade up on Visa. But anyway, nice bounce off the 100. Brian Shepard, it still looks good. Don't have any massive issues with that one. Next Friday. So I'll put that on my list for next Friday as well. And looks good. MasterCard MA didn't even get down to the 100. Didn't even get down there. So, I mean, that's strong. MasterCard held up real strong. So if I pull up the exponential moving averages, yeah, I'd probably hop into the hourly and let it do something like, let it do something like this, trade up, and then look to buy that another dip, right? So a little bit of a lower highs and some higher lows, some kind of congestion. So if you want to buy a MasterCard, and again, most of these stocks, if you're looking at buying something, if it's following the exact setup of the market, they're all going to do the same thing. They will all move similarly. So just keep that in mind, because if you're swing trading, just know that all of your trades will move pretty much however the market's moving in general. And unless your setup looks different than the market looks, for this market right now, try to buy as low as you can. If you say, oh, there's no way it can get that low, it probably will. You know, don't put it somewhere like outrageous. I mean, MasterCard's not going to go to $7. But if you're like, maybe it comes back down to the 50 again, you know, sure, it probably will. So anyway, good trend, good pullback. Mara says Facebook Apple is akin to trading SPY. Especially Apple. So here's PayPal, PYPL. And PayPal has had some really good setups on the hourly recently. So here's the hourly chart. This was very nice, very pretty rollover. So we'll kind of see. Passage, you mentioned you like to get into swing trades at 3:45 this morning. Can you explain if you have the time? Sure. So I mean, what I was mentioning by that is, if I want to close above a certain resistance or below a certain support or whatever, if I want it to close past that, I just simply have, most brokers have a time contingency. So I say if PayPal is below 69.79 by 3:45 p.m., then XYZ, whatever it is. So that will usually, now some brokers, you can go all the way up to the exact second if you want. So if you want to do 3:59, when I originally came up with that rule way back in the day, I was with Options Express, and that was the only time they had, was 3:45. So it just more or less was right before market close. If the stock is past a certain price by 3:45, it'll usually stay there. You know, so if I want it to close, if I want it to really break out past a certain level, then I will wait for that particular price. Does that make sense? But if I already have the trade set up and I've already planned it, and then the next day it's setting up, it's all about how long you plan the trade usually. So the 3:45 rule for me is only if I need it to close past a certain level. So anyway, PayPal had a nice little move, good rollover. Here's the 100 simple moving average, hanging out on it. I think PayPal is going to chop around a little bit longer, but so far it looks okay, just to keep grinding. Luke says, biggest lesson I learned last week, all swing trades did the same thing. Yes, sir. Eli Lilly, weekly chart, back down again to that level. Now, I'm not going to play this, but there's a trader out there who loves Eli Lilly. And all I can say is it bounced off the 200 simple once. It could do it again. Eli Lilly. So if you're looking at trading it, this is probably a relatively okay buy low, sell high spot, but you got that gnarly hammer. Sophia says, any time to add NVIDIA to the list. For you? Of course, NVIDIA. So that's Eli Lilly. Got that. Looking at that for just one trader. Michael says, hate to ask, temporary lost internet. What was the original Riot trade? I thought it was 66 shares. Doesn't matter much. If I see it in profit, I'll take it. The original setup on it was, I will remember, give me 3 seconds. Let me rack my brain. 1658 was the entry. So all I changed was the stop. I just lowered the stop. So 1658 was the original entry. Yeah, so just a very small change. SLB, Schlumberger, also known as Schlumberger. This one was just got wrecked. Get wrecked. We might have to go to a monthly chart to see if there's any moving averages down there or something. Ooh, I knew it. Oh, I knew it. I could just tell. I could tell. Okay, so let me see if I can do a spread. I got room for some spread. There says, good night from me, past midnight. All right, my man. Love you, buddy. Take care. Let's see. March 62. Oh, boy. Hello. There has to be earnings. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Oh, yeah. April 20th is earnings. Mm-hmm. Let me see how far away I can get. Maybe I could even do April. No. Should I do April in this kind of market? Nah. All right. Regular March. 60. It's a little tight. 60, 60. So if I do a 60, I could get it for $1 and I could buy for 40. That's almost 20% for March. That's pretty good. All right. I'm going to make that official. I'll post that on Monday. I mean, $1, and then I want to get 40 cents. 40-cent limit. 60, 57, 50. Bull put spread March. SLB bull put spread. 200 SMA on the monthly, shall we? Buy low, sell high maybe. I think it's been a while since I've done a spread on SLB. Yep, a very long while. Okay. Category, trend analysis, I don't know, chart patterns. Okay. Bull put spread, credit spread, SLB, real life trading. So it's already down 3% today. Karonga says, I need to eat. I'll watch the video later. No worries, Rockstar. Congrats on Walmart. Queen of the stops. You did what you needed to do. Now, the other reason I'm getting to this March position is I have 2 Februarys about to expire, and I'm semi-short certain they're going to expire worthless. There's only a week left, but I guess you never know. But we should be all right. So now it's just all new official swing trade, credit spread. For those who like them. All right, Brian, just have a great weekend. Thanks, Jeremy. Dude, my pleasure. Anytime. Okay, that's my thoughts on SLB, and we will come back and look at that one on Energy Wednesday. And come back to the daily. Yeah. This one, it could pierce all, it could close down there. There's all kinds of things it could do. All right, ACB. So there's a few people, oops. Did ACB recover for some of you traders who are trading it? Yeah, it did. Okay. So good job. There's a few of you in ACB. It's holding up pretty nicely with the rest of the market, which is a good sign. So if you're an ACB bullish, I guess you'd probably want to stay in bullish for right now. If I was in the trade, which I'm not, but if I were, my stop would be 1045. All right. DISCA, this is for Dawn, and she did mention she lost half an R, but that's a fantastic risk mitigation. Very well done. Good job losing small. You'll find another one. Discover Communications. Come back to that later at some point. USAC. USAK. USA Truck. I just don't think that's going to fill. I still like it. If it didn't fill today, I don't think it's going to. So let me do this. We're going to look at it again on Thursday. And if it still looks good, it looks at might trigger, we'll set it up. But USAK, I do like it. It's on the list as a possibility. CarMax, nope, violated the stop. Still a good trade, but just not exactly how I want to play it. So I'm going to move on. FAS, which is fun. Huge candle on FAS. Big pullback, and again, very tied to the market, right? So what the SPY does and the Dow, more or less, that's what FAS is going to do. So we pulled into the 200, almost got there. This is good for, again, spread selling, put selling, some type of options or some sort of selling. But anyway, that's very, very similar to the market on FAS. So it's a buy low, sell high type of setup. More than likely, you're going to have just some sideways movement. Easy says, can you analyze Netflix? Yep, it's coming up. 4 more tickers. So Snapchat, it is a retest gap, and we wanted it to retest. Still shocked that they are doing this, but this is a very interesting candle. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but if we get an inside day for 2 or 3 days, I might look to take that bullish. Inside candles on Monday, Tuesday. That's 2/9/18. We're going to come back to that on Tech Giant Tuesday. We'll see if we still like it. Otherwise, I like for it to pull back down to here. John says, could you repost that video you played during lunch? The stop limit video? Sure, I can go find it for you. So if it breaks out or trades sideways or it pulls back down to level, obviously I don't have any position in Snapchat. I'm just watching it, see what it will do, and take it from there. Stop limit versus stop market. Don, you have been studying like a champion last few days. I love it. Here you go. Post it in the chat pane. Okay. So next on the list, we have COTY. All day, all night. That's right. Cody, good gap up. Nice retest. Does not look like the market. Biggest challenge is the brick wall right here. A lot of bricks and a lot of walls. So if I were trading Cody, I do not disagree that it's bullish. I would try to get it as cheap as you can because this is going to be pretty much your target. So I would let it break out pull back, buy the dip, have a stop in there, hope she bounces, and you might get 1 to 2. That's pretty much it. It is a good gap. Does not look like the market. My biggest question is just risk reward on this one. And we're being real honest with everybody. It is going flat sideways. So the chances of it doing that is good, but it'd be a quick in and out. So when the stock trades sideways like this, you want to really be cautious on a breakout, and you want to prefer to get into the lowest price you can and sell high as you can. So that's Cody. Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, I got to brag for just a second. Has anyone seen Mr. Squiggles recently on Facebook? I had a trader who emailed me today, made $4 grand on this analysis on Facebook. Check this out. 4 big ones, which was, I think, like 8 R's for that particular trader, which is awesome. Here it is. February 7th, 2018. You were all here in the flesh. Trade down to the 200 and then a bounce. Facebook, limit buy. I think the next buy low spot on Facebook is the 200 simple moving average. Boop. There you go. Now, that doesn't look like a lot, but that is 8 points. I mean, that thing went from 168 to 176. That's 8 points. I mean, that's massive. With call options, largely money. Shares, put sales. So Marios did well on Facebook. Dean has a put sale for Friday. Brian Shepard has one. Matt DeLong has one. So a lot of people have some put sales. So hopefully Facebook bounces real nice off that 200. But again, you guys all know the goal. If Facebook closes below this candle, something's up, my friends. Something is seriously up. I mean, I said that the other day, right? If something closed below Tuesday, and it did. Something was up. We got a giant sell-off earlier today. I mean, the market was down huge at one point. So anyway, rights of support. Mila says, love Mr. Squiggles. That was solid. So anyway, congrats to everyone who played Facebook. SNDR, Schneider National. Schneider, brand new stock. Looks like it pays dividends. Okay. I don't have any position on this one. I'm not going to trade it myself, only because can't be in everything. I would want to close above the high of today with a stop below the low of today. So you get a bullish candle that comes up here and closes above. The reason I want to close, well, market's been a little bit bearish, been kind of crazy recently. And this candle is black, which means it's a hammer-ish candle. So, it's only okay. I don't want to close. All right, here's Netflix, NFLX. And Netflix, so we also, Mr. Squiggles mentioned it would trade down and bounce. We almost got to the 50 today. It's very close. That's really where that's where I was camping out on, so I didn't get a chance to snag Netflix bounce. I will give a shout out to Yates and a few other traders who played the breakdown of this gap. I'm a little mad at myself that I did not take one of this trade right here. I set this trade up in the morning room right there, and I got scared. I just increased my R, and I was a little afraid. I was a little scared to take that trade because I was like, man, because I lost on the SPY earlier as well at the early morning. So anyway, it's all good. Not a big deal. I'll get used to it. It just happened this month. What a crazy month to increase your R, right? Those darn emotions. Yeah, exactly. I saw it and I was like, oh man, this is a good trade. I would have taken that with $100 R with my eyes closed. But 500, I'm just like, ah. But then you don't really want to change your R and take away the $100 because what if it does work and it only kind of works? Jesse, I know. He says, how's it go? Most uncomfortable trades are usually the best. I know, man. I know, dude. I was so close to taking that trade. I'll get there. Temporary muscular failure. Right, that's all. I maxed out. I maxed out my reps. I couldn't go anymore. It probably was just the mental fortitude as well. Had that happen on a Tuesday or something, I think I would take the trade. I was just like, as the day was going on, my brain just started slowly going slower. Anyway, it's all good. We did have a trader who played this retest. It was phenomenal. Let me back it up a little bit. I was very proud of myself for this analysis. So here was the support. This is the daily support from over here. This was during the market hours. Stock broke down, and right around the stock was 248. I said, hey, okay, if this breaks this support, here's what you need to do. Wait for it to break and then retest that daily support level, and that's when you're going to short it, and that's what worked. That's what worked. That worked well. So I had a few traders who got in. So that's the other reason I smiled, because if another trader makes money, that's my biggest thing. Because behind the screen, I have no problem taking these trades. So it's, as long as you guys make money, I'm a happy camper. BB, nothing yet. It got back out into that channel. So still going to keep waiting. Google. Oh my God. Google. Oh my goodness. If you please tell me someone took this trade. I couldn't afford it. Unless I couldn't afford it. I just didn't have the ammo. I didn't have the R on this one. I mean, I know Brian Shepard did. He did a put sale, but did anyone buy calls or shares off of this price? Oh. Adriano did? Congrats. All right, you're getting a point then, man. Because I'm telling you, folks, I know how hard it is to buy when that market just is tanking. And you feel like it is just crashing. It's a good trade. And when you have that good trade in front of you, right, trading right down to that level, the reason I didn't, honestly, I just couldn't be in everything. I want to be in it. Give me a few more million, and I'd be in that trade. It's just hard to be in everything. So some good opportunities out there, some good volume. I hope your put sale expires worthless. Brian probably does at some point. WPRT, Smooth Jazz. Westport Fuel Systems. You don't want to buy that one off the 200, 260. Old resistance, new support. If it got down there, not saying it will, but I will put that on the list on Wednesday, because I know 2 or 3 traders are probably going to want to trade that, something like that. Okay. James says, have a superb weekend, Jeremy, and all. Time to go hang out with Lambo. She says hi. So I said hello. Enjoy your weekend, man. Enjoy. Have a blast. Okay, that's West Fuel. We're going to come back to that one on Wednesday. AMD, Drake has a put sale, and it did absolutely trade into 1075. This is a retest gap, and I know Drake's looking at potentially getting put some shares. If AMD comes back down to 970, it'll be a very good support to buy off of if we make it back down there. But this is also not that bad of a candle. So if you got out of AMD up here somewhere for profit, I like this candle. You could consider buying again if AMD closes above the high of today. I think it's a bullish neutral setup, and I kind of like some of the volatility, and it looks good. So there we go. So that's AMD. Here's Kroger. And Kroger didn't close the way I wanted it to, so no go on Kroger. and then NVIDIA. So I did watch NVIDIA a lot today. It did have a good bullish gap. It was a good bullish gap and go, and I think we're going to have a pretty solid trade setup on NVIDIA. Here's what I wanted to do. Boom. And then once it does that, I'm going to set this up. I don't know what the prices are going to be yet. I don't know if I'm going to do options or shares. We're going to have to kind of see. But if it makes that new high, my plan is to go ahead and look to take that trade on a pullback. That's going to look real nice. We'll probably talk about NVIDIA 417,000 times during Mentorship Monday, because I'm going to be talking all about options. Tuesday, we'll look at it as well. Retest of the W bottom. Yep. Retest of the double bottom. It's a very good gap. It looks pretty different than the market, honestly, and that's a good thing. Dividends is around the corner, a break above. I could dig it. And you're above all moving averages. So NVIDIA looks pretty strong. Pretty strong. Did I look at Amazon today? I thought I looked at Amazon, but I guess I didn't. I know I looked at it in the stock review that you guys are going to get a second. So Amazon, full fudge baskets. I had Amazon set up. I got stopped out of an Amazon call, and then I literally talked about this one yesterday. I had a limit buy, and I didn't have it automatically set up because I thought I'd have the ability to go and do it live if I got stopped out today. And that happened so quickly. It happened in like 23 minutes. So I miss Amazon off the 50. It's pretty much the story. And Tosh says AMD. Are you typing that in to search for it? I just looked at AMD. So Amazon, yep, trade down to the 50. If you did get in the 50, congrats. I will try to see if I can snag it again. A nice looking double top potentially, but it did not close with the neckline. So we're going to see on Amazon. It's a good pullback, but next week's going to be interesting. And I don't know, guys. Amazon looks a little bullish. Nice lower shadow into that 50. We shall see. You know, says next week or two. Yeah, I'll get again. You're right. Not a big deal. I've heard that the market is open often. And when it's open, there's plenty of opportunities. Monday, Mentorship Monday. We're chatting options. Strap in. You're going to get 3 hours of recordings. You're going to love it. Go enjoy yourself. A fine weekend, folks. I think that's about all. I think we've updated on everything. New trade, new swing trade on AMBA, update on Riot. We're still in Watt. We got all updated. A lot of traders are doing well. Keep it up. If you're struggling, guys, it's okay. This is a very brutal market to trade in. So if you're a newer trader and you're like, I'm lost, I'm frazzled, I have no idea what's going on, the exciting news is you've got all of the months ahead of you to keep learning. If you think I learned all this stuff in a weekend or 1 month, you're heavily mistaken. I've been doing it 10 years. Keep grinding, ladies and gentlemen. You guys got this. I'm happy to help in any way I can. Just let me know what I can do. Have a good weekend, folks. You rock. And until next time, love life, live life, and trade it. Bye-bye.